and their lives reborn at a new level. Today is a wonderful day to celebrate the resurrected parts of our life. The work we have done to see spirit and sense the presence of love and the power of good in action. And it is an opportunity to tell the truth about the other parts of our lives that we hold apart from spirit, that remain unrisen, not transformed, still in the tomb with the stone safely in place. The call then is to roll away the stone and to let spirit in. Wow. Miracle. I think you need a clap for Catherine. I love the way she takes all those stages of Jesus' life and says that we've all had this too. Everybody in this room has probably had some parts, if not every single part of this. What I believe about this is that it's not a one-time deal. I think it's a lifetime deal. That we move through those stages, much like the hero's journey. And we get it, and then we don't. And then we see the light, and then we don't. And then we have moments of joy and bliss, and I got this. The stone is moved away, and I'm rising. And then we have moments of, I don't know. And we have moments where it feels like the stone is so thick that we can't push it down if we try. And I believe that's true of everybody. Sometimes it's easy to think that somebody else has got it together, and we don't. How come I don't have it together like she or he does? I think that it's so good to acknowledge that we all have moments where we feel triumphant and we feel risen. And we all have moments where we feel like we are so deep in that cave and we are in the dark. We have times when we see the light, we have times when we don't, and that is true for everybody. So if you've ever felt like I'm the only one and everyone else has it together, you can forget that. I know through all my counseling and my teaching and classes and talking with people that we all experience it. So you can kind of hold yourself gently on the times when you realize that the stone is tight. All the times when the stone is moved away, you rejoice and you're grateful for those times. But please, don't think there's anything wrong with you when you've lost it. Because we all will have moments where we lose it. Or as she said about Jesus, the thing where he's out in the wilderness and then sometimes feeling like, I know I'm here, I've got my purpose, I know what I'm doing out here. And other times thinking, and where did it all go right now? There's times when we feel like, I don't want this assignment, I don't want to do this, I don't want to have to do this anymore. Whatever that assignment might be, that's going to change in our lifetime. And that's all right. It is a lifetime. It is a lifetime. And as I was thinking about this whole thing of sometimes feeling like I'm in the dark, and sometimes I'm feeling like I'm in the light. Yes, I'm right here with you. The story of Persephone. It's a goddess story. I won't go through the whole story, but this piece. So Persephone was a young maiden who got taken away by Hades. There was a deal involved, but I don't need to go through the whole thing. She goes down to the underworld. So for half of the year, she has to live in the underworld, in the underground. What? Did I say it wrong? No. Persephone, yeah. So half of the year, or some stories say a third of the year, but I like half. Half of the year, she's got to live in this underworld with Hades. She's living in the dark, and she's living in the, not so great part of life. And then the story goes that Demeter, her mother, made a deal that wanted her to come back up. Guess what time of year? Spring. To come back up to be with her mother. And so with this deal made, Hades and Demeter had to work together to get this deal. So, okay, live with you down here half of the year, and live up here with Mother in the beautiful sunshine the other half of the year. She also represents the idea of regrowth. The flowers coming back up, the sun coming back up, springtime. So Persephone's story is exactly like that. And I thought, wow, so that's kind of like us. Sometimes we feel like we're living in the dark. Hopefully not half the year. That's a lot. Hopefully not half of the year, but just to acknowledge that just like her and just like stories, we come back to the light too. It's no accident that there's stories like this. We're not the only ones who have ever felt like this. We're not the only ones who ever feel like we get lost. Even with this beautiful philosophy that we're living in this room, we get lost. We are not alone in that. That story goes back, I don't know how far back, long time ago. That story, I'm sure, was way before Jesus, yeah? Do you know when in history? Long time ago? We'll just say long time ago. So the fact that there were stories like that, remember most stories told in those years were told to convey a message. It wasn't about the living in the dark and living in the light, it was about the message that we all do. And so while we're in the springtime and we're feeling that sense of springtime, let's celebrate that. Let's use that to carry us when we do find ourselves in the dark times. When we do find ourselves kind of back in the tomb, if you will. Ernest Holmes again. He says something that I find very similar. He says we can sit in the shade, or we can move into the sunshine. Sitting in the shade and the shadow, we might not really believe that there is any sunshine. But the sun would be there all the time. And all the time that we are in bondage, freedom exists. It is there, but we must awake to it. What was my question at the beginning? What if the whole point of living a spiritual and religious life was to wake up? I think it is. So wake up to what? And how? Well, let's try to condense it. Wake up to the presence and the principle. 2 words we use around here a lot. The presence, bless you. Wake up to the presence and the principle. Wake up to the presence. The presence. It's that felt sense. It's that when we close our eyes and we feel like there's more to us than flesh and blood. It's that part of us that we know that the energy of God, of Source, whatever you like to call it, is living inside. It's the part of us that glimpses that we are more than we think we are. That's the presence. And then the principle says, you're creating your life with the same energy. The principle says, you get to choose. So what if it was that simple? We're waking up to the presence and the principle. This thing that's inside me, it's tangible, it's felt, and the truth that I'm creating via my thoughts and my beliefs. All right, good. I want to do that. Okay, but how do I do that? Well, you contemplate. You learn. You release what no longer serves you. You close your eyes and you commune. You listen to beautiful music that takes you there. You release that which doesn't serve you. You pray. You meditate. You affirm. Did I say release? Yeah. You know, that's a really big part of the how, in my opinion, is that we release. We release that which doesn't serve us. Release that which doesn't belong to the presence of who we are. Because we are more than we think we are. We are more than flesh and blood. We are more than any problem or struggle we might have. We are more than that. The presence is closer than hands and feet, as was sung. Or somebody said it this morning, closer than hands and feet. That presence can't leave, and that presence is what we commune with. And so the releasing part, to me, is all the mud that has been put on over the years by me or others. It's not really me. It's not really you. It doesn't belong to you. And so the releasing is to let that go off so that the truth of who we are can then shine through and be known to us. The communing part, the sitting quiet in prayer or meditation, that part, that step cannot be skipped. That step cannot be skipped. I can tell the difference when I've gone too long without it. If I've been too busy to sit quiet and commune with my spirit, I can tell the difference. And when I'm sitting in the quiet and I've connected and I'm communing and I feel that presence, I cannot skip that step. For those of you who say I'm too busy to do it, try 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes. It can be right here when we enter that sacred time and we let the music and we let the prayer take us. Just like that.